Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and today we are back with more musical lyrics. Today we are looking at the lyrics to the song B.Y.O.B by System of a Down. These lyrics are wow. The actual B.Y.O.B. in this case is bring your own bombs. As we often hear, B.Y.O.B. is bring your own beer, but in the case of the song, it's bring your own bombs. It's the first, this is by Genius. Is the B.Y.O.B. is the first single released from the from System of a Down's fourth album, Mesmerize. Like their earlier song, Boom, it was written in protest against the Iraq War. It means bring your own bombs as opposed to the common interpretation of bring your own booze. Referring to the Iraq War as one big party for the United States, where instead of Jaeger bombs, they drop real ones. It made its way into numerous top 40 playlists around the globe, including Germany, New Zealand, Australia, and the US, and occasionally made it to number 1 on other music shows. Now, let's take a look here at the lyrics to B.Y.O.B. Bring Your Own Bombs. In the intro, we hear the yo, and it's that, you know, deep scream, what else at the bar? And we get into the song, Barbarisms by Barbaras with Pointed Heels. Victorious Victorias kneel for brand new spanking deals. Marching forward, hypocritic and hypnotic computers, you depend on our protection, yet you feed us lies from the tablecloth. And into the chorus, la 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 la, ooh. Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time. Dancing in the desert, blowing up the sunshine. That takes us to the second verse, kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry mouth, breaking into Fort Knox, stilling our intentions. Hangers sitting dripped in oil, crying freedom. Handed to obsolescence, still you feed us lies from the tablecloth. And we go into another chorus. La 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 la, ooh. Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time. Dancing in the desert, blowing up the sunshine. And it repeats, everybody's going to the party, have a real good time. Dancing in the desert, blowing up the sunshine. And we get into the bridge. Blast off, it's party time. And we don't live in a fascist nation. Blast off, it's party time. And where the fuck are you? And we get into the repetitive refrain. Where the fuck are you? Where the fuck are you? Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? And we get into another verse, the repeat of the second verse. Kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry mouth, breaking into Fort Knox, stilling our intention. Hangers sitting dripped in oil, crying freedom. Handed to obsolescence, still you feed us lies from the tablecloth. And we get back into that chorus again. La 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 la. Ooh. Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time, dancing in the desert, blowing up the sunshine. Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time, dancing in the desert, blowing up the sunshine. And we get that refrain again. Where the fuck are you? Where the fuck are you? Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? And we get into the outro. Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? Why do they always send the poor? They always send the poor. They always send the poor. So yeah, it's a pretty strong rebuke of what's been a case with American militarism for a long time. That the poor are used as fodder. Even when there was a draft in this nation before it was kind of stopped by the military, the draft would be used to pull the future soldiers into the war. So you got to remember, I can't remember the exact year, but from like the early 70s on back, you would be drafted to serve in the military for 3, 4, 5 years. It ended up being stopped. The military ended up stopped using it. But yeah, one of the things that would also always be complained on while the draft existed was a common thing, that it was the poor who were always drafted. Somehow the rich got out of being drafted. So yeah, but it's the lyrics are really interesting. You know, they start out with that scream, "Yo, why they always send the poor?" So yeah, why do they always send the poor? And again, like I said, it's that ideation of the poor is always chosen first, and they're usually sent because it's a way out of the dying towns and homes. For many, barbarisms by barbaras with pointed hills. Victoria's kneel for brand new spanking deals. Marching forward, hypocritic and hypnotic computers. So yeah, barbarisms by barbaras with pointed hills. Victoria's kneel for brand new spanking deals. So that age of capitalism is so huge. Even though not much is really paid attention to the evils committed in the name of freedom by, forces, U.S. forces, marching forward hypocritic and hypnotic computers. So, once they're almost taking orders, many soldiers are often treated like robots. Like I said, often the poor were used as fodder. You depend on our protection, yet you feed us lies from the tablecloth. So, it is the American citizens who go into the military and do the fighting, protect the nation. But they got us into the Iraq War with lie after lie. And this was something that annoyed the heck out of me in the run-up to the Iraq War. I was like, I can understand Afghanistan. That's where bin Laden was supposedly hiding. But what did Iraq have to do with 9/11? Nothing. Nothing. But they kept, saying these things like, they were protecting Al-Qaeda, or they've got weapons of mass destruction. Show us the proof. And of course, there was no proof to show. It was just lies to get us into a war so more money could be made by the military-industrial complex. And we go into the chorus. La 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 la. Ooh. Everybody's going to the party, have a real good time. Dancing in the desert, blowing up the sunshine. So, it's being treated as, oh, this is just, it'll be good, you'll have fun. It's a great big party. You'll enjoy it. And of course we know that was the biggest bunch of bullshit. Dancing in the desert, of course Iraq is in the desert, blowing up the sunshine. Because, again, it's a desert. It's mostly just sun is the weather. And then we get the second verse. Kneeling roses disappearing into Moses' dry mouth. I don't know if it's referring to the biblical Moses, but he would have been in that area of the world. Breaking into Fort Knox, stealing our intentions. Hangers sitting, dripped in oil, crying, freedom. Think about it. Hangars, where you keep your planes sitting dripped in oil. So these are all these the jets set to go, and when they go out, they cry, "Freedom!" It has nothing to do with freedom. It's all about more of that oil. These jets are dripping in already. Handed to obsolescence, still you feed us lies from the tablecloth. So even as Americans are given in to, guaranteed death, the lies still keep coming about why we are in the war. La 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 la, ooh. Everybody going to the desert, or everybody going to the party, have a real good time. Dancing in the desert, blowing up the sunshine, and repeat again. So yeah, again, it's just a big party. You'll enjoy it, but they're sending you out to kill and murder. Yeah. And we get the bridge. Blast off. It's party time. And we don't live in a fascist nation. Blast off. It's party time. And where the fuck are you? You often see it as one of the things that are used. We don't want to have to deal with fascism. So, the American military giant and its military-industrial complex just making that money. With the jets, the ammo, the rockets. For them, it's big money. For the average American who goes over there as a soldier, it's a chance to die or be permanently maimed. So we get the refrain, where the fuck are you? Where the fuck are you? Why don't presidents fight the war? Why do they always send the poor? So yeah. It's pushing back. It's like, you want soldiers, but why aren't you there fighting it? I think Eisenhower was in the military. Actually commanded during World War II before he came home and went into politics. But yeah, I mean, as far as actual presidents who go to war, I don't think we've had one. We've had some that have military experience, have been generals, but usually they're out of the military by that point. It's like, why don't you go fight your war? You don't need to send the average American to their death. For what? And then we repeat verse 2, the chorus once more. But yeah, it keeps pounding home the message. Why do they always send the poor? You know, you want us to believe it's like, oh, it's just fine. But it's always the poor Americans, the struggling Americans, that you're willing to send to their deaths. You know, it really is baffling. But yeah, we'll go ahead, end this episode here. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tries to tell you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll be putting my sources in the description box below the video. I appreciate y'all for watching. See you all in the next one. Until then, later.